So look at these contrasting life perspectives. This is another message we need to really reflect on. There are two main characters here. This part, the middle part I am talking. First part we did a very summary of this. Now I am coming to the middle part. I am summarizing the middle part I am looking at. There are two very contrasting characters here, the son and the mother. Bharata and Kaikeyi. Right? Now look at how contrasting the life. This is the most important thing. Look at the life perspectives of Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi, if you look at what you find, she was driven by passion. For her, the power and she wanted to be an opportunist. She wanted to make sure that my son must be comfortable in life. He should not. An average lady, sort of a, which means you are worried about what is happening in this Janma now. What is happening tomorrow and day after? Even there is a lot of uncertainty. We do not know what will happen. Even then, I mean, look at this, futility of this whole thing, which many of us are doing. We have no idea what will happen tomorrow, honestly, strictly speaking. Yet there is so much of effort which we make. Now, as long as those efforts are not dharma aviruddha, it is all right. The problem is when they become dharma viruddha. I mean, I think we should make all those efforts because it's called optimism. Not knowing fully well what will happen when we step out of this room, we will still plan. That's called optimism. And that's called optimism only when it doesn't cross the border of dharma. When you cross the border of dharma, then it is all called passion. That is the dividing line. So you understand the difference between these two. I think we all must plan. I think every one of us must plan, knowing fully well that there is so much of uncertainty. But all the planning, all our wish list, all our endeavors, all that we do, if it is bound by karma, there is dharma, there is no issue. That will become satkarma. Because the dharma is closely related to karma. Moment you step out of the, this framework of dharma, then you get into all these. That's where your bad karma also, follows you. So she is driven by passion, so much of short-termism in her attitude, right? And this is a starting point for a lot of us in our life in certain times. Please reflect on it. Moment you started there, the rest will follow. What are the rest things? Lose the power of discrimination. That viveka will be lost. Viveka vichara will go. Lose the power of this. She lost the power of discrimination. Therefore, she indulged in wrong things on bad advice. When you lost the power of discrimination, there are a lot of bad company which are around you. Please understand. The bad company is only when you lose your viveka. Yada vayam aviveki bhavamaha, tada eva vairinaha asmakam puratah. All bad people around us only when you give up your viveka. You are responsible for it. So what will happen? Lot of bad advice, indulge in wrongdoing things, bad advice, create a massive disturbance. She killed her husband in the process, unwittingly, and precipitated the crisis in the royal scheme of things. She really precipitated a crisis, created a massive disturbance. And what happened finally? She was discarded, disowned, ignored, disliked by everyone, by none other than her own son. What more can you ask for? Everybody disowned her, disliked her, discarded her. So this is what happened. This is Kaikeyi's life perspective. Now, in contrast, look at the other character which stepped into this part of the story in Ayodhya Kanda, which is Bharata. 39 to 95, the next character is Bharata. That's how he entered into Ramayana. After the childbirth, Bharata comes only now. Then he'll come in Nandigrama. Right? He will come in a few places, but his influence is so powerful. He'll leave such a sphere of influence, although he comes in a few places. Right? Look at Bharata. What was so striking in these 40-50 sargas that we saw? Look at the previous sarga. In that Bhavana which was created by Bharadwaja, he did not go and sit in the throne. Look at that. What does it say? It talks about the life perspectives. That is called life perspective, perspectives of life. So what is Bharata? Driven by sound life principles and dharma. He had no ambiguity in his mind. So that viveka is always with you when you don't have ambiguity in your mind. So driven by sound life principles and dharma, and because of that, everything follows. Unwavering in his convictions about what is appropriate, what is not. A lot of us, suddenly things change. In a year later, what we thought is appropriate becomes inappropriate. What is inappropriate, suddenly we quote, that's okay. And we also justify why it is okay. So this line of what is appropriate and inappropriate, what is nitya and what is anitya, that is why nitya anitya vastu vichara is the definition of viveka. It should be a very clear line. There is no, ambiguity there. So unwavering in his convictions. And because of that, he overcame all temptations. What kind of temptations? Vasishta was pleading him to become the king. Everybody was pleading. Kausalya was pleading. Everybody was giving it on a silver platter. He didn't even for a moment think about it. Leave alone even considering it. Kshanamapi. Huh? No, you wait for the next 104 sarga, 104 sarga we will see. Rama will give an answer to you for that, about Guru Akya. Because the word Guru, he says, my Pita is also a Guru.
It is very, very difficult to have that kind of.
So, this is the Dharma Sukshma. This is where the Dharma Sukshma is there. No. You made a first statement. You said, when I am unable to desire, I will go to a Guru. I am saying I have no such ambiguity in my mind. Then?
No, that is why Rama only can do it.
No, look at Bharata. Bharata is absolutely clear. There was nothing wavering in his mind. So he did not need any. He dharmasya pantam samyak jnatavan. There was no ambiguity. Then the Guru Vakya comes. Like that.
Guru, he didn't have that ambiguity. He was so firm in his
resolve. So these are some of the sukshmas. But anyway, so because of that, he overcame all temptations and distance from all offers and positions. Very, very clearly, without even a blinking of eye, he was able to do. Right? Look at the last thing. He had to explain his position to everyone to prove his noble intentions. Anyway, so what I am saying, there are two contrasting life perspectives which we have learned from this part of the story. This middle part of Ayodhya teaches us these lessons in life. Life perspectives are very important. Lot of things that we do is governed by that. That's what, Shraddamayo ayam purushaha, yoya shraddaha sayeva saha. It's a very powerful shloka in Bhagavad Gita, the third shloka in chapter 17. Shraddamayo ayam purushaha, yoya shraddaha sayeva saha. What you are made up of is nothing but your shraddha. The shraddha is nothing but strong belief in dharma. Huh? Yes. So, what do we learn from Bharata? From all these that we saw in Bharata, what did we learn? At least three things that Bharata very shiningly put forth. One is, you should not be swayed by raga. Passions and distractions are so powerful. If you had the slightest thing, that's the end. That was a very powerful message which Bharata had brought. He said, for which of course you should have that Dharma Sukshma and all that. This follows from the previous slide anyway. Not to be swayed by raga. Raga dveshas can actually take you. Tasya paripantino is what he says. Asya paripantino. He says they are the highway robbers of everyone. Krishna said that in chapter 3. He said raga and dvesha, are like paripantino. They are the highway robbers. Like that, they will rob you of all your character and your self-evolution, everything. Clarity on the role of dharma and its importance in afterlife. I'll bring a series of shlokas. These are all in our smritis and very nicely written. We have to be very careful. This is the defining differentiation of Sanatana Dharma with all Semitic religions. I have 4-5 shlokas. I'll bring that. Then ability to sense what is the right thing to do and stick to it at any cost. That is the other thing which Bharata was able to do. So I will just go back to the other mode. It's easy. Otherwise, we will have some slightly reduce it. Yeah. So ability to sense what is right thing to do and stick to it at any cost. Very powerfully, these messages come in this middle part of Ayodhya Kanda. Now I will take a few shlokas to sort of conclude this discussion so that we move on to part 3 of Ayodhya Kanda from next. Rago nama manasyalyam gunadravina taskaraha rahur vidya sashankasya tapovana hutashanaha. Ragaha nama manasyalyam. This is the nail. This is what will nail your mind. That gets into your this thing. And what it will do? Gunadravina taskaraha. This is the prime robber of your good qualities. The raga is so powerful. This is what happened to the Kaikeyi. This is what exactly happened to Kaikeyi. And what it will do? Rahuhu vidya sashankasya. Your knowledge of moon will be covered by like this eclipse. Your knowledge of moon will be eclipsed by this Rahu called Raga. It will just cloud you. Your discrimination will go. Your wisdom will be temporal. It happens to us, no? When we are very inebriated, we shout. We are not at all. This is what happens. Raga and Dvesha. If you say Raga, the other side is Dvesha. One is enough. You don't have to say the other. Raga and Dvesha always happens in pairs. Okay? Because one is the outcome of the other. Raga and Dvesha are two sides of the same coin. Okay? Rahur vidya sashankasya tapovana hutashanaha. All your tapas, all your austerity, all this strength of character that you developed inch by inch will be burnt like a forest fire. This raga is like a forest fire. It will just burn all your strength of character that you developed over years. This aptly describes what happened to Kaikeyi. That perspective of life destroyed her finally. All her, she had a lot of good things. People have just all burnt. Look at Mahabharata. Nasti vidya samam sakshuhu, nasti satya samam tapaha, nasti raga samam dukkam, nasti tyaga samam sukam. How nicely it says, the last line, nasti raga samam dukkam applies to mother. Nasti tyaga samam sukam applies to Bharata. This last line, first part applies to Kaikeyi. The second part applies to Bharata. That's exactly what happened in this middle part of the story. She thought so many things. She was finally in great distress because all her dreams were destroyed from the word go. Because it was raga. It came out of raga, no? It was dharma aviruddha. So dharmo rakshati rakshitah, dharma hato hanti. So, yes. So nasti vidya samam sakshuhu. Your eye is your knowledge. Good knowledge is like your eye. Nasti satya samam tapaha. Your ability to hold on to truth is the one which will build your character. I mean, these are all looks like simple statements. These are all anubhav purva. This cannot be explained. Nasti satya samam tapaha has to be experienced. You increase your quotient of truthfulness, you will find your tapas will increase. These are all anubhuti sambandhina vishaya. These are not intellectual matter. These are all these scriptures, Mahabharata, Ramayana, come out of great amount of anubhuti, great amount of internalization. These scriptures have come. That's why these scriptures are like two eyes for us. Panchamam Vedam, Mahabharata. Look at this beautiful shloka. These are all very important for us in life. Manusmriti, Mritam Shariram utsrujya kashtaloshta samam kshitau vimuka bandhava yanti dharmastam manugacchati. What a powerful statement. A person who is dead, mritam, shariram, utsrujya. See, when a person dies, right, this is like kashtaloshta samam kshitau. It is just like throwing kashta and loshta. A part of log of wood or some stone, you just dispose it of. No, this sharira can only be disposed like that. When death happens, the sharira goes, is just disposed of. It goes back to Virat. It goes back to Virat. It goes back to Prakriti. Vimukaha bandhavaha yanti. They do the cremation and go. That's the end of the story. Liberated, truly liberated. Liberated from everything. That's why Vimukaha bandhavaha yanti. They will also go. But what will come with this particular person? Where is this person? It is only this culture is asking, where am I when after death? Because you cannot, in fact, this is very most scientific. Huh? You cannot create anything out of nothingness. Something can never become nothing. I don't want to explain it in great deal to today's scientifically oriented students. You cannot create anything out of nothing. Nothing, and something cannot become nothing. If you agree to this statement, please tell me, if I die tomorrow morning, what will happen? Where am I? There must be some continuity. That is the link, and it is very vividly described. It is very logically, scientifically explained, this whole journey of forward pass, reverse pass, all that. And what comes with you? Not your relatives, not this body. Body will be disposed of, relatives will be liberated, because everybody has to go through the karma. They will go on, cry for a few days, but then you have to get going, because you have your karma. What comes with you? Dharma. He says, Dharma tam anugacchati. Anu is follows. What follows you is your good act. Then he says, Namutra hi sahayartam pita mata cha tishtataha na putra dara na jnatihi dharmastishtati kevalaha. Amutra. Iha is here. Amutra is elsewhere. Which means from something it cannot become nothing. The only thing you can conclude is, if I am gone, I am somewhere. That's all you can conclude. You cannot make any other statement. That somewhere is called Amutra. Iha and Amutra. So he says, Na Amutra Sahayartam, because this continuity will be there. Who is going to help you? Na Pita, na Mata. They are not going to come and sit with you there. Okay? Na Putra hai, na Dara. Not the issues. Putra is Putri also. Putra means, one who is being protected from Pum. That's all. Putra hai, Dara, na Jnatihi. Not your, 7th generation Jnatis. Dayadi also are not going to come. Dharma, he says, Dharma tishtati kevalaha. What comes with you is only your dharma. That's why this 13 days karya you should see. Sapindi Karna they do on the 12th day. The Sapindi Karna, the 3rd generation is pushed, and this man or woman is entered into it. And after that is the day when this status changes. If you read Vishnu Purana, you will find it. The first 10 day, Prabhuta Bali and all that happens on the 11th day. Then Sapindi Karna is done, where the membership changes. Because this preta will keep on looking around. That's why on the 11th day they feed so much and say, get lost from here. You can't be here anymore. In fact, the rituals, if you closely watch, I don't know about the other, I have watched it very closely. The rituals very clearly show that this preta is asked to saying, you have no more place here. Out. Without salt they will put. It will run away. The food which is not at all tasty. No salt that day. In that Prabhuta Bali, nothing, no salt is given. Then when Sapindi Karna is done, the 1 generation is knocked off. So this is taken into the generation 1, the 3 goes out, the 2 becomes 3, it's a shifting. Then that day, very elaborate dana. because this dharma has to go with this person. For that only all these are done. Very elaborate that day. Properly, if people do it, it has become a very expensive affair today. Huh? 12th day. Not second. 13th is maybe slight differences. You know, I know that, you know, and the Sapandikana. So, point is, if you look at all those, it clearly shows, it clearly indicates that how you live. That's why the art of dying is a function of art of living. And the art of dying is the trajectory for you. That is what. So he says, Dharmastishtati Kevalaha. Only Dharma will be with you. If only Kaikeyi was deeply rooted in this, he would not have read Ramayana. I mean, that's the largest story to all that. In fact, people ask, why did Kaikeyi do? In fact, Kaikeyi, all these characters are just, they came here for a 3-hour show and went. See, when you are a villain in a drama, there's no karma for you. You didn't kill, you shouted at him, it is part of the dialogue. There is no karma. So this entire character came only to enact. For Anushasanam, for demonstrating, it's a street chef. So that's a different story anyway. Jala bindu nipatena kramashappuryate gataha sahetu sarva vidyanam dharmasya cha dhanasya cha. What nice shlokas we just see. If you take a pot with one drop at a time, jala bindu, with one drop at a time, if you just put a pot below a place where it is only one drop at a time, one day it will fill, but it will take time. It is a slow process, but it will fill one day. He says dhana and dharma are like that. Hitopadesha, it says dhana and dharma are like that. It should be one at a time. There is this great desire now that you do everything by the age of 30. All these are Western prescriptions which have come, which have cluttered, which has put so much of confusion in us in what is called dharma. We have actually mixed 2-3 different, we have blended 2-3 different things, and we are a confused lot actually. Honestly, I'm telling you, we are a hugely confused lot, except for people in this room. We are all blessed. We are blessed that we are looking. I'm seriously. Huh? No, I am saying, seriously saying, we are taking two different ideas of what is life and mixed up, and then that's how education and living has happened. Look at this. Sahetuhu sarva vidyanam dharmasya cha dhanasya cha. That is the basic methodology. Sahetuhu sarva vidyanam, meaning the basic know-how of everything is only that. It is one step at a time, slowly only your karma, your dharma, your dhana, all those will build. That is what a wisdom is contained in these kinds of slokas. Who is going to read it? Definitely not our youngsters. It is not in any of our portion. If you put it in our portion, then you have created what is called saffron agenda and all that. I mean, we have pity ourselves in this country. Enormous wisdom in these slokas. That's why occasionally I bring such slokas when I lay my hands on it.